I was just watching a really funny video. But happy Friday Eve, everyone. Jeremiah Ray Cook here from jeremiahraycook.com. It is day number 24, 23, something like that. Let me confirm here quick. Of building my web business here. It's day number 24. This is the show that I'm doing to take you along my process of building my business. My goal here is to create a $2 million a year internet business, and I'm documenting the entire process. That way I can use this as a manual. And also just to show people where you can start off and where you can go if you just take constant action every single day. It doesn't matter how big your goal is, you can achieve anything that you can conceive and believe. And starting a few days ago, actually I started reading this book. I've read it a few times, or I've listened to the audio version of it a few times, but I've never gone through and actually utilized all of the different action steps that it says to take in here. And so starting a few days ago, I've actually decided to utilize the techniques and the how do I say it? I want to build my business model around the success philosophy of this book. If you don't know what Think and Grow Rich is by Napoleon Hill, look it up and read it. It's going to change your life. It definitely changed my life years ago now, and it's changing my life even more now that I'm actually not just listening to the audio version, but I'm actually reading this physical version and taking notes. And I've been sharing those notes the past few days with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 2 now, and I'll be keeping notes, and I'll fast forward ahead, and I will let you and I'll do my analysis afterwards of the notes that I took and the important lessons that I've gained from this chapter. This chapter is chapter 2. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so chapter 1 was on desire. Let's see here. Just look at the table of contents here. Okay, so chapter 3 is on autosuggestion, which is basically programming your mind to think a certain way automatically. And it's really helpful to kind of shift your thoughts to have certain kinds of inspirations and things. So, page 67. I'm going to read this now, and I will be back shortly to give you my analysis. See you soon. Okay, I'm back. Okay, Google, volume 10%. So that was actually a pretty short chapter, but there were some great insights in there into exactly kind of how do I say it? So the chapter was on autosuggestion, which means basically you're wiring your subconscious mind a certain way to believe a certain way. And it was a really important chapter because it's basically the foundation of what the entire book is and does for you. So it's the reason it makes you so successful is because it makes your primary goal in life who you are. It makes it a part of who you are, and it marries your goal with your faith and with your just the fabric of who you are. And when you believe that you are something, you act that certain way. And so, this whole philosophy, it basically it gets you to act the way that, act like you're the person that you want to be already. Okay, so let me hop into my notes here. So it's chapter 3, auto-suggestion. The first thing that stuck out to me was there was a quote in there, and I'm sure if you've heard any kind of self-help stuff at all, you've probably heard the quote, day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And that's a really positive affirmation to say to yourself. If you if you get up in the morning and you do nothing else but just say that, it's going to improve your it's just going to give you inspiration throughout the day to improve yourself. And especially if you say it, but you don't just say it like blandly, like day by day I get better, but if you say it with some emotion and you actually that's what you desire, day by day I get better and better in every way, and you feel it, like I felt my heart get warm just now. And you feel it and you believe it, then you actually attract that into your life, and it seats itself deeply into your subconscious mind. And that's kind of the command center of your mind that actually causes a lot of thoughts to happen, especially action thoughts. So I put that there. I think that that's a really powerful thing to consider and realize, because imagine that you do improve every day in every way. If nothing else, then that's a really empowering belief. So underneath that I put mix emotion with auto-suggestion techniques. So auto-suggestion, like I was just talking about mixing emotion with that affirmation, and I used the term auto-suggestion techniques because there are a lot of different auto-suggestion techniques. There are, surrounding yourself with successful people. You see how they do it, and you are forced to kind of act that certain way as well in order to fit in, to even like be able to be in the room with these people and hold a certain kind of conversation. You are going to have to adjust the way that you think and the way that you converse, and you're going to absorb some of that energy and act a certain way. That's like one technique. Another technique is to say affirmations. Like many of you, if you follow me at all for any amount of time, you know that I make affirmations videos. The reason I do that is to actually affect the subconscious mind, because like I just said a minute ago, the subconscious mind is what it inspires thought and thus inspires action. So if you want to make sure that you're taking proper action to achieve your goals, then it's important that you use this principle of auto-suggestion, as Napoleon Hill calls it, to your benefit. Because what you experience on a day-to-day basis is going to affect you no matter what, whether you take conscious control of it or not. I mean, if you don't, then you are, at the whim of those who do take control of it. And those who have a solid grip of themselves and their lives are people who have managed to take control and really just dominate their subconscious mind into providing them with the insight, inspiration, ideas, all of that that they desire. And so, mixing emotion with affirmations or whatever it is that you choose to do. I like affirmations. I think that it's really impactful. And having experiences, if you want to be, ultra wealthy, if you go to a place where there are just a ton of wealthy people, you're going to, your subconscious is going to soak that in as well and start, putting you in that situation more. But if you mix emotion with affirmations, like when I do affirmations, I just feel a warm feeling in my heart. I feel like I'm praying, and that's the state of mind that I go to, is praying and believing that these things are true for me. And so that's like my emotion. I feel warm, I feel joy, I feel love, I feel promise, I feel faith that all of these affirmations are true for me now. And so that's why I make the videos, is because I use these things for me so much and it helps me out so much. I just want to make it for other people too. I want to create what has helped me so much in my life, and I want to be that for other people. And so mix emotion with affirmations, definitely, whether that be my affirmation videos, or whether it be anybody else's affirmation videos or books, or you can write your own affirmations. It's really, in fact, I think I would suggest that that's very, very powerful. And if you write out a list of 10 things that you want in your life, and you do nothing else other than read that list every morning and night after you wake up and before bed, then, and you mix that list with emotion, I will, like to say, I will lose 10 pounds. I will do this. I will do this. I will do this. It doesn't matter what it is that you want. I will be a better father, maybe. I will make time for my significant other. I will, whatever it is. I will buy a house by this date, whatever it is. And you mix emotion with all of those different affirmations, you are basically casting a spell on yourself to actually be able to, be inspired with all of the thoughts that are going to be required, and inspirations that are going to be required, so that you have the ideas to see the practical means and plan to getting to your desired results. And so that's why it's important that you mix emotion. I saw this was another quote in there. It said, "I am the master of my fate and the captain of my soul." And I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it's something that's important to remember, and it's also a great affirmation. Honestly, it's an empowering affirmation that if you state it, read it out loud, or memorize it even better and read it out loud, or say it out loud 2-3 times a day, it's going to give you a lot of power. And anyway, I think that it's really powerful. Up to you. I probably won't add it to my sheet. Okay, this is something that I'm doing that I haven't mentioned yet. Obviously, this book calls for a bunch of action steps, and so far I've written out my definite purpose what I want to achieve with my business, because that's why I'm doing this whole thing anyway, is to utilize this philosophy to create the maximum success with the business that I'm building. And so the first one was to write out exactly what you want. So my business goal is to be making $2 million per year by January 1st, 2020. And by doing different services, I have this paragraph that I've made. Second action step was to write out the steps for creating like this unstoppable self-confidence that I will achieve this. And I already have that confidence, I believe, but I believe that I can make it even better by utilizing the steps that Napoleon Hill wrote out, which is this, it's writing out this list of affirmations essentially, and signing my name down at the bottom. And I've done that directly underneath my thing. So I get up in the morning, and I've done this ever since I started, and I'm doing this philosophy or these practical steps to a T, because I'm just committed to it. I believe that it's going to really help me really launch my business and give me massive success. And that's that's my whole purpose of doing this. So I'm going to follow the wisdom of somebody who's been there and done it. And anyway, so that's that. I'm not going to put that at the bottom of mine, but if you are following along and you are taking these steps as well, I also suggest that you read the book with me and get my analysis here, and you can do your own analysis as well, and maybe I'll have something that might inspire you and help you to better utilize this material personally. Hopefully you will, and I can be kind of your mastermind partner in that sense. So anyway, I wrote down concentration here. Focus until you can actually see the physical appearance of your goals. So you need to kindle concentration. You need to be able to focus for long periods of time. I mean, you need to be able to basically work yourself up into a obsession, and to having your goal as a overcoming obsession that overrides any other thoughts, because the other thoughts are what's going to keep you drifting away from your goals. So you want to basically have tunnel vision and focus on your goals, and that's what's going to give you the push, the power to achieve your massive success, because people just don't achieve success without having just fantastic focus and fantastic drive and a spirit of belief in themselves that they will have what it is that they desire. And I've studied this a lot. I haven't seen anyone achieve massive success who was not completely worked up like into a white heat of almost crazy focus towards their desired result. And so that's where the concentration comes, and the concentration is also going to help you, or is also going to kind of come as you get up every morning and you read your statement, and you go to bed every night and you read your statement. I read my statement now. It's so powerful. I feel like it's completely powerful. I feel like I'm like casting a spell. I feel the force of it, and it's incredible. Like, I keep mentioning that it's like a prayer, because I'm sure most of people have prayed at one point or another, and you feel that warmness. It's like you feel that energy radiating from your heart, and that's what I feel when I read um, this statement. Like, my connection with God at this point is so strong. It's like my life is like a prayer constantly. And so when I read this statement, it's so powerful. I can just feel God just like pouring all these blessings into my life. And it's amazing. And so um, it's also important to see yourself rendering the service that you want to provide, because that's also um, like kind of putting that out into the universe, um, and attracting it. So it's like you don't want to just see what it is that you desire, but you want to actually see yourself rendering the service, because when you do that, that's going to feed your mind the knowledge that it needs to have the inspiration of thoughts and ideas that will take you, uh, will show you how to get to that vision. And so that's actually something that I have not been really doing. So I'm going to implement this into my daily um, life. So, also, what else do I have? I must have my subconscious. Um, I must have it. My subconscious must deliver me a plan for its attainment. So, Napoleon Hill is very adamant about demanding from your subconscious, that you don't just ask, you demand it to, because it is yours. It is your subconscious. And so, and it's much more powerful than your conscious mind. It's very, very it's I believe it's the bridge to God. Okay, I'll just say what I believe. And Napoleon Hill doesn't quite say it that way, but that's pretty much how he says too. I mean, he's a very spiritual guy, um, and he says that it's a link to infinite intelligence, and he uses the words infinite intelligence and God interchangeably throughout this book. Um, I I have no problem just using the word God, so what I that's the way that I speak about it. But the subconscious mind is where your faith resides. It's where your belief resides, and what it is that you believe, like, it filters the power, the life, the light from God into your life. And imagine it's like a lens, basically. And so your belief, whatever your belief is what is going to come into your life from God. And it's going to be how you see the world around you, and it's going to be what your world becomes. So, we have all these people of different faiths and religion around the world, and one person of one faith is going to see the world based upon that not just worldview, but that faith um, that they subscribe to, and it's going to give them um, like an ultimate, like, everything is going to justify their faith. And if it's not justifying their faith, then they're not going to feel right, and they're going to change up their life in a way that complements the way that they believe that life should be. So that's why he says you demand things from your subconscious mind, and I haven't really tried this either. Um, Not in the way that he suggests it, so I'm going to try this as well. So basically, the things that I really, really picked up here is seeing myself rendering the service, and And also, all I have to do is when I'm getting up in the morning and when I'm going to sleep tonight and every night, and I read my statement aloud, um, I'm going to see myself rendering the service. I was just kind of focusing on like the end result, but now I'm going to see myself rendering the service. And I'm also at the end, I think I'm going to add, I must have it. My subconscious, or I demand my subconscious mind to deliver a plan for its attainment. And that's going to give my subconscious just the added oomph to push extra inspiration into my life. Oh, and one of the things that is said in the chapter too is that you must act upon inspiration immediately. Don't wait, because waiting is going to take some of that force, um, some of the magic out of it. He didn't use the word magic, but it's going to take some of the, like, if you start working immediately towards it, like in that very moment, what's going to happen is you're not going to stop with just that inspired thought. You're going to start taking action. You're going to have another inspired thought, another inspired thought, another inspired thought, and it's going to provide just so much more, bang for your buck. It's going to give you a lot more, like it's going to lead you on an upward spiral, and that's really what we want. So that's my analysis on chapter 3 of Think and Grow Rich, and those are the actions that I'm going to be taking. Again, this chapter was on auto-suggestion, and my hope and prayer is that you have received some value from this lesson today. And yeah, I suggest, if you're not following along with this book, I suggest getting it, reading it. Today's chapter was really short. I think it was only like 10 pages or something. I take a while when I read things, because I read things over and over again so that I can obtain a more fuller grasp of the author's intended meaning behind things. So you'll probably read it a lot faster than I do. But again, thanks for stopping in. Subscribe to my channel. I'm constantly coming up with new material. I come out with at least one video a day usually. Yesterday I made a very short video before I went out, and I'm not going to be really going out anymore, I don't think, because it's really not in line with the person that I am. I'm more focused on creating good in the world and stuff like that, and nothing against anybody that likes to go out and all of that. I just think that, at least in this point in my life, I'm focused on other things. And so I don't think I'll be doing that again. But anyway, God bless you all. I love you. Thank you for following this journey with me. And it is 12:14 a.m. right now, and I'm going to do a little bit more work today. I've been on top of all this Think and Grow Rich stuff. I'm also taking extraordinary action towards building my Amazon business. Right now, I'm going to go do my K-Money Mastery course lesson, and I'm going to start taking daily action towards that as well, because it's going to start making me money, I think, even sooner than my physical product business will. And so I'm really excited, by the way, about all this. So anyway, subscribe to my channel. Have a great night, morning, afternoon. If there are any other times in any other part of the world that I don't know about, or if you're like out in space and you really don't have night, afternoon, then happy whatever space day it is. I don't know. I used to want to be an astronaut, so I think about that. Anyway, have a great one. Bye.